Here we are at Wembley again after England have beaten Latvia by 3-0 in the first ever meeting between the two sides. And it means that Thomas Tuchel's record is played 2, won 2, scored 5, conceded none. Can't really argue with that. And actually a much better performance tonight than against Albania on Friday night. Stuart, Pearce, England captain, England legend. What did you make of the performance? What did you like so much about the performance?
I think from the offset, from the first minute aid, people on the front foot, wide players taking people on, midfield players getting into great pockets of space and getting turned, and the ball coming in the box more readily. I would say that was what excited me about this performance.
So it was a more attacking performance, and that promise from Thomas Tuchel to excite the fans and get more touches in the box and get forward more, be on the front foot, that actually was realised tonight, wasn't it?
It come 3 days later than we were promised, it's fair to say, but 100%. Friday night, no crosses in 15 minutes. Tonight, 7 crosses in 15 minutes. The stats tell you everything, you know. It's a much more exciting performance, and Latvia were fortunate, in my eyes, with the weight of pressure that England put on their goal. They were fortunate to get away with a 3-0 drubbing. Yeah,
3-0, and it should have been more than 3-0, Jim Proudfoot. There were some good saves in there. There was some bad finishing in there as well, but a lot of efforts at goal, a lot of attacking intent, a lot of efforts on target as well from England.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was the one thing that Thomas Tuchel had promised, wasn't it? That he would produce a team that was capable of entertaining, that was capable of being on the front foot. He wanted to see more touches in the opposition penalty area. He wanted to see more entries into the final third. He wanted to see all the attacking metrics go up. And that wasn't provided on Friday. So I think the most encouraging thing tonight is this was definitely a step in the right direction. And I know that you can say, OK, we're only playing a side who are ranked 140th in the world. But I think that if England had played in the manner that they played tonight against Albania, I think it would have been a very similar kind of performance, a very similar result, and could easily have won 3 or 4-0 in that game as well. It was very encouraging the way that the problems that we all ascertained from Friday, a lot of them were sorted out tonight. That's a step in the right direction. That's all he can do.
Let's talk about one individual in particular, and that's Marcus Rashford. It seems like all season all we're talking about is Marcus Rashford for one reason or another, but tonight it's a very positive reason.
Well, the reason why we talk about him, Aid, we know he's capable of the performance that we saw tonight, and that's what frustrates footballing people, I think, that we know he's playing within himself on occasion and has done this season, and lost a little bit of focus about his profession, we think, from the outside. And we know that he's got the ability to put a man of the match in some quarters performances on and put defenders on the back foot like very few players can do in English football. So it was really refreshing to see that performance from him tonight.
Yeah, and the move to Villa, I think, could rejuvenate Marcus Rashford. But one thing, Jim, I really love about Thomas Tuchel is he's basically come in and said, I know what Marcus Rashford can do, so I'm going to put my faith in him. I'm going to put him in the starting lineup Friday night. I'm going to put him in the starting lineup tonight because I know what he can do. And maybe, just maybe, that's the arm around the shoulder that Marcus needed.
Well, exactly that. I was just going to say, it's the arm around the shoulder. Now, he's gone to Villa, and it's a move that's rejuvenated his career, but he's still only started 1 Premier League game since he moved to Villa. He started 2 internationals this week. Wasn't great on Friday, he'd be the first to admit that, but he was good tonight. Because he probably felt more than anybody else, I would imagine, that he had a point to prove. Once he was told that he was back in the 11, that was a vote of confidence, and okay, I'm not going to be given so many chances, so I've got to take one. And he certainly did that tonight. It was good interplay between him and Bellingham and Lewis Skelly. I thought the three of them all dovetailed really nicely on the left-hand side of the pitch in the first half. Didn't work quite so well for Marcus when he switched flanks, I thought, for the second half, and that didn't really bring the best out of either he or Jarrod Bowen, but that's something that Thomas Tuchel maybe wanted to look at to see how he coped with playing on that side, how Jarrod coped with playing on the left. I think that will be a question answered, even if it wasn't necessarily what he wanted to see. He will have learnt something from that. But in the first half in particularly, I thought that Marcus played really well, and the numbers back that up. I mean, the entire England side only put in 10 crosses in the first half, in the entire game on Friday. He's put in 9 on his own in the first 40 minutes tonight.
Wow, that's some stat, isn't it? The last England defender to score a direct free kick, 1992, Stuart Pearce. That's how long ago it was before tonight, because Reece James He's not just scored direct from a free kick, he scored an absolute worldie that I think would have beaten pretty much any goalkeeper in the world.
There's no doubt about that. As I say, I can guarantee you that his free kick was slightly better than mine. He's got curl on it, he's got whip on it, he's got dip on it, he's got everything you want. And it took, to break the deadlock, a set play. So credit to him for it. However it took, we were building up pressure, but it took a free kick to actually break the deadlock. And good for him. It's good to see him back. He's had a lot of problems with injuries, that type of thing, Aid. And another option at that right back area, all well and good for us.
And I must ask you about the incident before that, where we all had our hearts in our mouths when speculative ball down the right-hand side from Latvia. Gahey and Pickford got into a big mix-up. We could have gone, probably should have gone 1-0 down. They've literally missed an open goal. All right, acute angle, but they've missed an open goal, Latvia. That's a real negative as far as England are concerned. But what went wrong in that position?
Well, it was a decent ball into the channel, I've got to say. Gahey was chasing back, and to be fair, for me, the goalkeeper does not need to get involved in that scenario. You know, as a defender, when you're recovering, you're concentrating on the movement of the striker, concentrating on the ball. You've got no idea, you've got no time to get your head up and concentrate where your goalkeeper is getting involved. If your goalie comes out for that scenario, he's got to clear the ball up before you, as a defender or the striker, get anywhere near first touch. He didn't do that, and that's where the problem started.
So yeah, clean sheet for Jordan Pickford on his 75th appearance, but maybe a little bit fortunate to get that. Jim, there were other positives for England as well. What stuck out for you?
Miles Lewis-Skelly, again, not as eye-catching as he was the other night, but when you've got that first goal-scoring performance behind you, can you maintain the same levels? He was asked to play a slightly different role today. Played at left back, but always coming into midfield. That allowed England to build with a back three, build in a 3-2-5 to get as many attacking options on the pitch. You need someone that can play that hybrid role. Thought he did it really well. As I say, not as spectacular as he was, but there were still some nice moments, some good crosses. But he offered that defensive shield alongside Declan Rice in behind Bellingham and Rodgers. So I thought that he was another standout performance. Ezri Konsa and Mark Gahey solid enough, barring that one moment that we've touched upon already. I thought that they, again, very solid at centre-half. And I think credit to Thomas Tuchel as well. I think that he deserves some credit for being able to get his message across as clearly and as succinctly as he obviously has. I know that there'll be a lot of England fans will have thought that there's still too much room for improvement after that performance, that they will feel that, okay, that's only a 5.5, 6 out of 10. It was a 4 out of 10 the other night. Maybe that's a 6 out of 10. I felt being here that England actually played better football than they're going to get credit for, and I think that Thomas probably needs to be commended for that, because that felt to me it was a significant step in the right direction.
If there are fans that are critics of tonight, maybe it's because they didn't score enough goals or whatever it might be, Stuart, what would you say to those England fans who are a little bit more sceptical?
Well, it's fair that they probably are, but I would say on the run of play, there's been not just a steady improvement over the two games, it's been a drastic improvement in the energy levels, in probably, you would say, behind the scenes, how the manager and his coaching staff have made some pointers in regard to the way the team have played. We got into a little bit of a habit of playing too cautiously and too possession-based, backwards and sideways. And I think we threw the shackles off of that tonight and went straight for after the opposition from moment one. And that gladdened me, I've got to say.
So we're going to win the World Cup, are we? Is that?
Well, that's a given. Yeah, it's a given now.
Yeah, at some stage. It goes without saying, you can't judge England or Thomas Tuchel on the two performances we've seen so far. You certainly can't make any extrapolation out of the improvement that we've seen over the two games when you bear in mind that we played a side ranked in the 50s and a side ranked 140th in the world. What he's going to be judged on is his ability to win 4 knockout games at the World Cup if England progress that far. That's what he's going to be judged on. The barometer for that is going to be how England play in the two games against Serbia, who are in the top 20 in the world. They're going to offer a different type of test. So I don't think you can look at anything that happens and say that's a massive step forward, therefore we are going to do this, we're going to do that. But the bottom line is that it's quite clearly steps in the right direction. That goes without saying. And you can have a look at the way the more attacking, front-footed approach tonight and say, okay, I think that England will be able to play like that with a bit more vim and vigour and being much more proactive. Then when it comes to the bigger games, they've got more of a chance.
I think we're happy enough, aren't we? We'll take that going forward. Stuart, thank you very much. Jim, thank you very much. We're going from Wembley to Woking tomorrow night, me and Jim. He's going to Wealdstone tomorrow night. We'll go from one extreme to the other. Don't we? Just love football, don't we?
We do. Put it this way, the Stones will be getting it forward. Make no mistake about that.
Very quickly, I suspect, as well, and through the air too. They need to, the position they're in, so they're Woking. So listen, we'll be back in June, which is it's quite a long time actually, but that's when England next play against Andorra away in the next qualifier, and after that they're at the City Ground, Nottingham, for a friendly against Senegal. We'll see you then.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.